Hello all you zombies. This will be a quick video in which I show how I install Gamemode 4 modules on an existing command block box. Now I have here a command block box in Bedrock here, so players cannot get in here, but it is not right at the lowest level. That is because on the lowest level I've got other modules, and I'm sticking the Gamemode 4 modules up on this upper level. The problem with this is that the Gamemode 4 modules either come in as a schematic or a world download, neither of which are very useful on running servers. Schematics, you need to take the server down, install it, bring the server up, a lot of pain. And while you're doing that, players cannot play. The third option is the one-click module, but this installs it down at y = 0 coordinates. So it will install one above the void, which is there. So it'll be installing in here very low down where I don't want it. So what I need to do is bring in the module and then move it to where I do want it. And I'm wanting to put this new module here, right next to the others that I already have, which is the Gamemode 4 lightning rod and the Gamemode 4 better fire module. The lightning rod does not actually look like this, as this is a modified one that I have changed to reduce the amount of command blocks needed and remove a few little niggly things to do with spawners, which I'm not installing, at least not at this time. So let's get cracking. First of all, I'm just going to grab a block. Oops, that's not how you grab a block. Here we go. I grab a block and I go down to here. Now the signs here are reminders to me that of which direction X and Z is. So positive X goes in that direction and positive Z goes in that direction. The one-click modules will not only install at the lowest Y value, it will also install at in the positive X direction and the negative Z direction. So it'll install a module somewhere in here, and depending on how big it is, it could take up a fair bit of space or it could be quite small. Most likely the first block will be somewhere around here, 2 away from here. So let's stick the command block down. This will be our one-click command block. Before I can actually use it, I have to make sure it is clear above it. So 20 blocks above and in a 3x3 area all the way around must be clear, because this will fill up with minecarts, and any blocks here will interfere with the working of the one-click install. So I've cleared the space right up to the top of the command box. That's the top there, ready for the installation of a one-click module. So let's go to the website and get a one-click module. Here's the Gamemode 4 website, top level page. Nice, it's a good place to hang out and have a look around, but in this case we want to install wiki content and standalone modules, because what I'm installing is the Ninja smoke bombs. This should be a great addition to the server, as it looks extremely interesting. This is the information page about the module, so it explains what it does, and here we have a recipe which is for the Hermitcraft server. The click install will not have the Hermitcraft server because that version of the module has not been released. What it will do is only use normal fire charges. So let us go to the downloads area, press on the one-click and copy the one-click string, which can be very, very long. And let's jump back to the game. We go into the command block, paste it in, and we're done. All that's necessary now is to power it. So let us get a redstone block and power it. When I do this, minecarts will start appearing, but they could be shifted slightly offset, which is why you need that 3x3 area clear. Otherwise it can fail. So here we go. There's all the minecarts appearing, and done. And here is the module. And it looks like this module is quite small, not very big, but completely encased in bedrock, which is not a bit redundant considering that we're already in a big bedrock box. So let's just break it open and clean out what is not needed. I don't want to just remove all the bedrock that's here. Excuse me, let's get rid of this lightning here. Right, so continue on removing the bedrock box around the module. And let's see how far down it goes. As I said, quite often they will put things right deep at the very lowest level, directly above the void, which is not great, particularly if you want to access the module and study it at your leisure. So it looks like there is no blocks below it. Yes, it looks like it's all completely clear. It looks like the lowest block is actually at Y1 and not Y0. So all we need to do is now move it. Before we do that, however, this here is probably a running clock. And yes, it is running. I want to stop that. Now, in a fill clock situation like this, the upper one is usually the one that places a redstone block. So let's actually turn it off. And there we go, we got a stone. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that, and that should disable the module. Also, as it was in a bedrock box, it's got a light source in there to prevent mobs spawning inside. Again, that's not going to be needed. We'll get rid of that as well. So now all we need is to move it. And this is a little trick that I learnt while watching Spark's videos. The clone command needs 3 sets of coordinates to copy blocks. So let's just type in clone, and you see here it needs coordinates for what you're copying from the x1 y1 z1 to the x2 y2 z2. So that defines a box that you're going to copy. Then it needs a third set of coordinates, which is where it's going to copy to. Those third sets of coordinates represent the lowest x, y and z block of the box that you're copying. So as it's positive x that way, positive z that way, and positive y straight up, that would be this block. So we need a block there. We also need one on the other corner, which would be there. As there's no block existing, I'm just putting one there as a temporary measure. So what we do is we look at one corner of the box and we go clone, and we then space and then press tab. Tab will then fill in the first x value that you're of the block that you're looking at. I go space, tab, gets the y value, space, tab, and we get the z value. At this point we just hit return. It will fail because we don't have enough coordinates. We can now move over and look at the upper coordinate. Press slash to bring up the command line, press up arrow to bring up the last command, and then we can space tabs again to fill in the coordinates of that block that we're looking at, and hit return again. Again, we don't have enough data, so it's not going to do anything. We can just get rid of these blocks if we want. Doesn't really matter. So let's go up to where we're going to place it. Now I'm going to place it here. Now I want a bit of gap, so I want to have it starting about here, and it's about 3 wide, so that will be where we want it. We need a block to look at to fill in the lowest x, y and z coordinates of the area that we're going to fill. So it should actually fill in that area there. So let's look at that. Slash up arrow and then space tab to fill in the coordinates. At this point I would specify whether I'm masking or the clone mode that I want. In this case I'm just copying it as is, so I'll just press return and it should work. So here we go. Boom. There is our module. Now we can immediately activate it, and all we need to do is turn on that redstone clock again by putting in a block in here. That should have reactivated the clock, and oh yes, there it is. As you can see, it's just reactivating. So this here is the Ninja Smoke Bombs module in its correct place, up from the y equals 0, or in this case y equal 1 coordinate. Let's just clean up that block as well. And let's just finish up by signing the module so we know what it is. So Ninja Smoke Bombs Game Mode 4 module. And there we go. Bob's our uncle. All we need to do now is just clean up down here. We don't need that or that. I'm going to leave the signs because I'm probably going to install more Game Mode 4 modules at some point, and we just need to clean up this. Now I could use a fill command to actually do it, to fill it in, to clean out the air and so on, but there's not that many blocks. But if, just to show how it's done, let's actually do this. We just have a fill in there. Look at this block. Fill, space tab, space tab, space tab. Whoops, didn't quite work. Hang on. Space tab, space tab. There we go. Let's go around to look at the other side. That will do. Press up arrow again. Space tab, space tab, space tab. And then we want to fill it with glowstone. Here we go. And all cleaned up. Of course, it was such a small thing, I could have done it by hand, but that was just to show you how it's done. So, Ninja Smoke Bomb should be active. Let's just get up here. Let's try them out, shall we? Now, as we saw on the wiki page, it uses fire charges. There was a recipe, but that recipe was for the Hermitcraft server and has not been included into this module as yet. So let us get some fire charges. Oh, here we go. We have some fire charges, and all you have to do is right click it on the ground and it should magically teleport us at random to a high point somewhere around. So we'll be teleported somewhere onto the surface, even though we're very deep underground. So here we go. Thump. And there we are. Oh! And it looks like it's placed us really high up on top of the iron farm here. So that is all for me. I'm going to go and have some fun. So I'll see you all later.